So, top 10 Asian dramas that are honestly not worth your time, rather, in my opinion, were the worst dramas that I've seen. One of which I dropped. I actually dropped it. I don't usually drop dramas because I do reviews, and if I'm gonna, you know, dislike a drama, I'm just gonna rant about it in the review. Yeah, no, I actually dropped one at episode 6. Didn't even get through episode 6. I just dropped it. Um, that being said, please take into account that these are just my opinions, and there are actually plenty of people that actually like these dramas for whatever reason that I can't and don't understand. Some of these were actually recommendations, and I hold no fault to the people who recommended them because they obviously did like them. I just did not. Um, and yeah, this list is in no particular order. With that being said, let's get on with the list. The first one, Love Me or Leave Me. 都给你热的爱烫了心当背影不惋惜还感激 The basic premise of this is a guy is trying to get his girlfriend to agree to marry him, and she, for some reason, doesn't want to marry him. I think it was because of her parents. They got a divorce, or her dad cheated, or something like that. And that's the reason why she didn't want to get married. That being said, this drama was boring. And I watched this because I watched a drama previously with the main male actor in it. And I thought that was pretty good up until like the last third of it. The last third of it just like really fell apart. But this isn't about that. But I did actually think that he was a good actor. So I went on to find more dramas that he also acted in, and I stumbled upon this one, and this one was downright boring. But by the end of it, the guy has cancer. On the way to go see his wife give birth, he dies. And then the baby is born, and honestly, I could not have cared less. Like, it was so predictable that he was gonna die, and I just didn't care. And then the baby was born, and it was kind of like he was reincarnated into the baby, kind of. That's what it seemed like. And then it went on to the funeral, and it didn't even seem like anybody cared that he died. Like, nobody was sad, nobody was crying. I didn't feel any emotion. Oh, the main lead actress, she can't, like, I don't know what was going on with her, but she could not emote. I just, everything about this drama was horrible. I didn't think that they had any chemistry either. And actually, I recently found out that he's actually, the main actor in this is actually in a drama with the lead actress of Love Now and Love Around. And while I do love her and would gladly watch another drama with her in it, I don't think I could handle another drama with him as lead actor. I can't. This is the second drama in which the same premise was used poorly, because the basic premise is that he finds out that he may get sick or is sick, and basically breaks the heart of the woman that he loves to spare her, because that makes sense, right? And this was the second one that was used in. So just don't watch anything with Christopher Wang in it, okay? Just, if you see his name on the actor list, just skip the drama. I'm so serious. And it's not that he's a bad actor. I just don't like the roles that he plays, you know? And it's not against his acting. He's a great actor. He does the roles well, a little too well, because obviously I don't like the roles that he plays. The next one is one that everybody loves, everybody loves this drama. So I saw one person's review and they said that they got hooked on it from episode one. And my question is how, because I struggled to get past episode one, and then I struggled to get past episode two, and I almost died of boredom watching episode three. And let me just give the title before I go any further. Love Rain.
우리 엄만 평생 첫사랑을 잊지 못하셨어요. 그치만 쭉 그 추억 때문에 행복하셨다고 해요.
You've probably heard this one. If not, count your blessings. This was so boring. And the first half was so boring because the main characters basically don't do anything to try and be together. And then you're expected to sympathize with them when they can't be together, when everything was in their control. Like at one point, the guy is actively helping his best friend be with the love of his life. And you want me to sympathize with the fact that he can't be with the woman that he loves when he's helping his best friend be with the woman that he loves. And then another issue that I had was that the main actors would not talk to each other. Like, they wouldn't talk to each other. They would just, like, stare at each other longingly. I'm just like, so boring. The second half was arguably better, but the two lead actors who are actually, they're playing the two from the first half, they're playing their children, and they're played by the same actors. So insert them falling in love, and then their kisses are so awkward, and the lead girl can't act, and it's just, by the time it gets to the end, they finally get to be together, and it turns out that they broke up 7 times of their own volition for stupid reasons. And then decide to get married. Jang Jun-suk and Yoona star as ill-fated lovers over 2 generations from 1970s to present day in Seoul. Or Seoul, rather. Yeah, so the two from the first half of the drama can't be together, go their separate ways, end up having children with different people, and meet back up again later when their children are grown up, and decide to be together then, only for the main guy's son to tell him that he shouldn't be with the woman that he loves, even though he grew up with his father being in love with somebody else, and now realizes that the pain that he had to go through of not being with the woman that he loves. And he fully understands that now, and yet he still forces his dad to give up the love of his life for a second time. Operation Proposal.
나보다 날 더 잘하는 사람. 정말 눈물이 날 것만 같았다.
Now, this one was not... Love Rain, I think, was recommended to me. Operation Proposal, I found that back when I was first starting to really watch a lot of dramas. And it looked interesting. This is the basic premise. On Yisul's wedding day, her friend Bakhol, wishes he could turn back time to tell her he loves her. Soon he gets a chance to change everything. I think this one is a K-drama, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it looks like a K-drama. He attends the wedding and is the best man, I think he is. And the love of his life is marrying their high school teacher. Yeah. They get married, he goes home, he cries a bit, and then somebody comes and gives him the chance to go back in time to change the future and tell her that he has been in love with her their whole lives, basically. And he goes back in time, and the first time he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that the second time either. He decides that the reason that she married somebody else was because of all these other things that were relevant, to be honest, because then he goes back into the future and she still marries the other guy. And then when he finally does go back in time and confess that he's been in love with her all his life, they finally get together, and he goes back to the present day, and she still ends up marrying the other guy. And then one of the main things that it just irritated me so much was that she complained that he was never honest with her about his feelings. And then, like, in the end, she's like, oh, I was never honest about my feelings for him, which is why I kept going for their high school teacher. Which was really creepy because, like, by the time they get married, I know she's, like, an adult and stuff, but, like, he liked her since high school, and that's just... Is that creepy to anybody else but me? It's just... and I know somebody who likes this drama, too, and I just... It gets to the point in the end when the main guy who kept going back in time to try and be with the girl, he loses his memory trying to save her. And then it takes him losing his memory and forgetting who the fuck she is for her to, finally be honest about her feelings. And then he just magically gets his memories back with no explanation, and they live happily ever after. And yeah. So this one I watched recently because I saw a picture of it on Google while I was looking for another drama, or pictures of the drama for my review, my Instagram reviews. And I stumbled across the picture of this drama, and it looked interesting. The premise seemed interesting. I went to go watch it. It made no sense. This one is a Japanese drama. Innocent Love centers around Kanon Akiyama. As a child, she loses both her parents in a fire, and her older brother is arrested as the arsonist. Shunned by her town as the sister of a killer, Kanon moves to Tokyo and picks up a job as a house cleaner. She then meets a man, but the road to romance is fraught with difficulties. Okay, let's just start off with she meets a man. She meets him and instantly falls in love with him with no rhyme, reason, explanation. She just loves him because he took a picture with her. Her brother, throughout the first half of this whole drama, claims that he is innocent. He did not kill his parents. He did not burn down their house. He just woke up and the house was on fire. And then by the end, we find out that, oh no, he did kill their parents. He killed their parents because their father was sexually assaulting his sister, who he's in love with, by the way. Yeah. After a year of their father molesting his sister, he then takes it into his own hands and kills his father. The mother basically overlooked it, like she knew it was going on, but she just, turned her back on her own child, so he did actually kill their parents and burn down the house. But the main guy, the main love interest, everybody wants his dick. Everybody wants his fucking dick, and I don't understand why. He's the most boring protagonist ever. He is not interesting in the slightest. I think the only thing that we find out about him is that his fiance tried to kill herself the day before their wedding, and so he's constantly taking care of her comatose self and has no time or anything for anybody else. And then he likes to play piano. That's basically his character. Takes care of his comatose fiance and plays piano. And God, he's so boring. And everybody wants his dick. His fiance, when she wakes up, feigns that she wants his best friend, but then suddenly realizes that she actually did love him, with no explanation. She doesn't actually talk. I think she said one sentence during this whole just drama. I think it was 22 episodes too. So during this whole thing, she said two sentences or something like that. I don't know. She realizes that she actually did love him. The main girl wants him for no reason. His best friend wants him, which I praise this because the best friend is gay for the main guy, but it's done so well. Like, you question if he's actually, because when the fiance wakes up and says that or goes after the best friend, he like left a note or something explaining that she and him had slept together before she was gonna marry him. And like, that was really convincing. I'm like, oh, so he did want the fiance the whole time, but then why did he try and pull the plug on her like twice? At least that we see. I think it was at least twice. He tried to pull the plug and kill her. He actually got another man's number too in this drama. I was surprised. I'm like, did he just get another man's number? Excuse me, sir. And honestly, I think he was the best part of this drama. I think it was him, and oh yeah, there's another friend too, and she wants the main guy's dick too. And she actually she goes yandere and locks him in a closet and threatens to starve him to death if he doesn't get with her. And it's so funny because I remember that scene. She goes into the room where she has him locked up and takes off her shirt. And then he goes up to her and puts her shirt back on her and leaves. Honestly, that was the funniest part of this whole show. Oh God. It's just like she was trying to tempt him, and then he puts her shirt back on her. Then after the whole debacle with his fiance wanting to be with his best friend, he cries over that for like a day, and then instantly realizes, for whatever reason, that he loves the main girl. And then another thing that really irritated me about this drama, she had repressed the memory of her father sexually assaulting her as a child for a whole year. She repressed that memory. And then when she finally remembers, it's very it takes a toll on her, so she leaves. He goes after her. She explains why she left, that she remembered that her father sexually molested her and all this stuff. And then they go back to Tokyo. And he tries to kiss her. He tries to pull her in and kiss her. She pushes him away. And you would think, after knowing that she was sexually assaulted for a year, that would be, the red flag. Oh, okay, so we're not gonna like, I understand that you don't want contact right now. And then, no, he just pulls her in and kisses her anyway. Mind you, before that, she couldn't even touch people without having, like, flashes of what happened to her as a child. So you would think that would be kind of traumatizing to somebody who was previously sexually assaulted. But no, they just gloss over that. Such a drag to get through. It's so boring. And, like, all the characters were just so... Next on the list would be Drunken to Love You.
请收看《最后决定爱上你》。
The basic premise is basically two jilted lovers find solace in each other by spending all night getting really, really drunk. 24 hours later, the two have eloped mistakenly in a desperate attempt to undo all their mistakes. They might just discover they've made all the right choices. Now, this drama is basically trying to copy You're My Destiny or Fated to Love You, but it fails. Even though I don't particularly like Fated to Love You, I think You're My Destiny is the best adaptation, which is the original adaptation. I felt like Fated to Love You was kind of meh in comparison, but even that is like 10 times better than Drunken to Love You. The main characters have no chemistry whatsoever. The one episode where they did have chemistry, it's quickly short-lived. Well, it's short-lived. The reasoning behind staying married is that the main guy's girlfriend wants to use their marriage as a cover for her and the main guy's relationship because she's a superstar or model or something, and she doesn't want the public to know that she is in a relationship for whatever reason. I actually stumbled upon this on Drama Fever, and I noticed it, and I was like, oh, is this another, adaptation of You're My Destiny? Because I like to watch adaptations of things and see the comparisons or whatnot. But a lot of people were saying that it was better. I disagree. Somebody made the argument that it was better because the two actually stayed married. But the thing is that the main girl gets manipulated into staying in the marriage. Whereas in You're My Destiny and Fated to Love You, the reason why they stayed married was actually better grounded in reason. And even in You're My Destiny, they actually didn't ever get divorced in the first place. So, and I mean, the reason for the divorce to begin with is more reasonable because in You're My Destiny, the reason was that the girl thought that the guy wanted her to get an abortion. In Fated to Love You, the guy put on a farce of not actually having feelings for her. And so they got a divorce. In this, there's no legitimate reason for them to actually be together. Nobody's pregnant. They never actually sleep together. And they're just doing it for the superstar girlfriend. Oh, and then the theme song as well. The theme song is like this very upbeat, peppy. Pop song about wanting to bang the girl of his dreams, and it plays at like 15-minute intervals throughout the entire series. Every episode, I think the episodes are like an hour long or something like that. So imagine hearing that song every 15 minutes, even during like very emotionally moving scenes. And that song will just pop right into the middle of the scene, and it takes you out of the moment to the point where you can't form a legit attachment to these characters. You don't feel anything for them. And the thing about the comedy as well, like it's supposed to be like a rom-com. It's supposed to be funny. However, the comedy is so forced. Like, to the point where I'll just give an example right here. By the end of it, they are getting married. They are literally about to kiss in the ceremony, and some random dude comes up and they are talking to him for like 15 minutes about this organization or something, and he's trying to explain it and they're confused during the ceremony, the wedding ceremony, which is the main thing in the why? Just why? Okay, so the last one for the first half of this top 10, it was When I See You Again. Which is actually, now, the main thing about all of these is they're boring to watch. The main characters don't have chemistry. The comedy is meh at best, forced at worst. And it's just, a lot of these are a drag to get through. When I See You Again is no exception. On a visit to his hometown, a rich bachelor seeks revenge on the woman who broke his heart 10 years ago, but his plan doesn't go as expected. Now, Jasper Liu is actually a pretty good actor. This drama did him no service. His co-star is boring. They have no chemistry again. No chemistry. When it gets brought up by the girl, I think it is. And then they rectify the situation for like 5 minutes, and then they get interrupted and it's never brought up again. So Jasper is actually a fantastic actor. I think the fault was with the directors and his co-star. His co-star couldn't act, in my opinion. Jasper is also the lead actor in Love Myself or You. And that was in my top 10 dramas. And he did significantly better because I believe that there was better direction, better script, just everything was better. And in When I See You Again, there's also like a side story with one of the main characters who's supposedly 26 in this, but she looks like she's 17 and acts like a teenager as well. So her love interest, he looks much older. He looks like he's in his 30s, I would say. And then it doesn't help that he also acts more like a father or brother figure than a love interest, and it just comes off as really creepy because she comes off as really young and naive, and he comes off as like the older, manipulative person in the relationship, and it's really creepy to watch. As for another point in the drama. So when the main guy is younger, he has like a unibrow and like acne, and he wears glasses. However, because his acne has cleared up, he's gotten rid of the unibrow and he wears contacts. Nobody can recognize him apparently. What? And there are so many hints as to the identity of this guy. Mind you, him and the main girl were friends when they were younger. They were friends when they were younger, and she still can't recognize him until he actively points it out. Just really, like, how stupid is this girl that she can't recognize somebody who was her best friend in high school? Well, not her best friend, but they were friends. They hung out quite a bit. That they did like each other. It's just that he decided to try and confess his feelings at the wrong moment. When she found out, I think her dad left or something. I can't remember. Obviously, it wasn't that memorable. I mean, it was entertaining, I guess, but it's still just not worth it to sit and watch two actors who have no chemistry together try and build a romance. A romance that should have already been there since they established that they liked each other in high school. And then they could have built upon that, but they don't. I mean, if you really want to watch a drama with Jasper in it, go watch Love Myself for You, which is significantly better. The actors have better chemistry, and it's better directed, better story. Just everything is better in that. And so that's the end of the first half.